In 2015, I designed and built my own solar-powered only, off-grid, 10,000 watt-hour battery capacity system. You can check it out right here at some point later if you'd like. And I ran it 24/7, rain or shine, so I learned how to manage the power. I wanted to share with you some of the things I learned because I've noticed over the years, especially lately, the most frequently asked questions regarding portable power stations, or solar power generators as some call them, are what can I run and how long can I run it? Now, it comes in the form of a question like, I've got a 5 cubic foot freezer, can I run it on this? You know, that kind of thing. But I see it all the time because I'm online researching this kind of stuff. So I decided to put together this 3-part interactive instructional video series for people who are thinking about buying a portable power station so they get the right size, and for people who already have one but want to learn to manage the power a little better. Now, this video, later I'll talk about the inverter in watts to help answer what you can run. The second video, I'll talk about battery capacity and watt hours to help answer how long you can run it. And in the third video, I'll talk about solar panels and use information from video 1 and 2 and incorporate it into different power outage scenarios to help you figure out how to use your portable power station in an emergency. Now also, in video 1 and 2, I'll be gathering information about my own appliances, probably about 7 to 10 of my appliances. And I'll be using a kilowatt meter to do this. I'll be using a clamp meter, and I will use a line splitter. Now, if you don't have a kilowatt meter, I highly recommend you pick one up, or at least something like this that has the same functions. And I have information below and in the description on these, so you can learn a little bit more about that. But you don't need one for this video series. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to basically record what I find on this worksheet that I made. And what makes this video series interactive is I'm providing the worksheet to you as well. So all you have to do is download it in the description below. It's called Worksheet. And if you don't have a kilowatt meter, it's no big deal. Just follow along with me and pretend you're me and record the information just as I do. The same thing I write, you write. You'll learn about how to manage power, but more importantly, you learn how to use the form on your own appliances that way. If you have a kilowatt meter, then just use that on your own appliances and similar appliances as we're going along. Or if you want to save time, just follow along with my appliances and just put your kilowatt meter away for the time being. So that's the way you can handle it, and that's why it's interactive. The other thing that makes it interactive is I have questions throughout the series. When I say there's an LPPP question, I made that up by the way, it means listen, pause the video, paper, pen. It just means take the question seriously because it will help you identify if you've learned what you should learn. If you don't understand the question, then you should back the video up and rewatch it. But I put the questions in there just to make sure you're where you need to be. The videos are meant to be seen in order, and if you don't understand something, you're going to be completely lost later. Now, I am not an electrician. This is just a hobby. So please, talk with an electrician if you have questions. Make sure you read the manuals and safety part of the precautions, because you can fry your portable power station. You can burn up your meters if you don't know what you're doing, and you could injure yourself. So you need to really understand what you're doing before you try to do anything like this yourself. Now, I have a timestamp below so you can bypass this huge introduction and go right to the instructions. So, because you probably will need to come back a couple times. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to talk about the inverter. The inverter is a device inside your portable power station, and it converts DC battery current to AC current so you can run appliances and other devices that require AC current. Now, there are 2 watt ratings you want to be familiar with your portable power station, or more specifically the inverter, and that is surge watts and continuous running watts. Now, the running watts, it's just what it sounds like. It will provide continuous watts as long as you're running something. Like if you put a lamp with a 100-watt bulb on it, it's going to run it till the battery goes dead, or you turn the light off. So that's continuous. Continuous watt rating is referring to the maximum continuous running watts that it will provide you. In the case of the Delta 1300, that would be 1800 continuous watts, and for the EcoFlow River, it would be 600. So it's good to know that so you can figure out what you can run on your appliances. Now, some appliances have a motor, and when the motor kicks in, there'll be a surge or a demand of more watts than the continuous running watts. And in order to accommodate for that, a portable power station will likely have surge watts available. For the Delta, it's 3,300, and for the EcoFlow River, it's 1,200 watts. Now that you know something about the inverter, a little bit, and a little bit about my portable power stations here, I'm going to talk about wattage and how it relates to drawing power from your portable power station at any given point. Now, if I want to run a 1,000-watt microwave for an hour on my Delta 1300, 1,800 watt, continuous watt inverter, it's going to put a pretty good strain on that. What I want you to get out of this is that 1,000 watts is going to be demanded immediately, and it's going to want it the entire hour. When I'm talking about watts, I'm not talking about how much is coming out of the battery. I'm talking about the demand at any given point. If it says 1,000 watts on here, it's demanding it right then. It will demand it the entire time. So if it was a 100-watt bulb, for example, in a lamp, and I have it plugged in my kilowatt meter, it would say 100 watts the entire time. And I would, in 35 minutes, 32 seconds, it's going to say 100 watts. If it were getting 100 watts every second, it would get 360,000 watts, or watt hours, in an hour. It only needs 100. So it's just showing the demand at any given point. If I have my TV plugged in, you'll notice the watts will go up and down, kind of vary back and forth. It will be a demand each time, the whole time. It's different demand of power depending on the load. It will get the average of that, whatever the hour is, what the average was, out of my battery bank at that point, but that's video too. That's watt hours. I'm just talking about the actual, at the moment, demand. Those are watts. Now, there's three things I want to do when I go around to my appliances with my meters and write down data here on the worksheet. I want to find out what the rated watts, maximum rated running watts are, and that's easy to do. Then I want to find out what the actual maximum running watts are, and then I want to find out what the VA number is. Now, to find the rated watts is pretty simple. Like I just said, you just look at the label or the plastic stamp, on the appliance, and then write down the maximum rated running watts. Those are the safest numbers to use when you're doing calculations like this. The second thing I want to find out is I want to know what the actual running watts are on my appliances. I want to know what they actually use. And by the way, I did do a video where I ran several appliances with motors along with a TV, all at the same time. And the rating was, the watt rating on all of those together, it was over, I think it was over 4,200 watts. So I ran it on an 1,800 watt inverter in my Delta here. So that's because I knew what the running watts were. And so that's why it's important to know that. And the only appliance I'm going to be testing with a motor will be the refrigerator, like I said in the second video. But if you want to see that video where I'm running all of those appliances at the same time, go ahead and check it out. The third thing I'm going to look for is a VA number. Now, I'll show close up on this later, but there's a watt button so you can see the watts. Underneath that, it says VA. So you push it and it'll give you the VA number. You should make a note of this. The VA number is equal to or greater than the actual running watts. I like the VA number because it's kind of a built-in cushion. It overestimates just a little bit. An electrician will use that VA number to size wires or circuit breakers. So that's an important number. And the last thing I want to mention here before we get to work is when you multiply amps and volts in a DC circuit, you get watts. When you multiply amps and volts with in an AC circuit, you get a VA number. So it's watts, but I look at it as though it's a little cushion on top, though, with a little wiggle room for you. So it's kind of a good number to use if you're not going to use rated watts. Okay, so if you want to do the interactive part of this, print up about 5 of these worksheets down below from the description, and then just write out what I write out. If you don't have a kilowatt meter, just act like you're me checking the appliances and write it all out along with me. Keep those through all the videos, the same ones. It's cumulative. We're going to be writing on the same forms. And I keep mine in a binder, and and I'll be adding to this in each video, so you might want to keep them in something like this. And at the end of video 3, you'll have a binder that you can actually put right with your portable power station, have all the information you need for a power outage. Okay, so the first appliance I'm going to test will be my lamp with well, it's a normal lamp, but it has a 3-way bulb in it. It defaults on 100 watts, so I'm going to test that out. Okay, here's my lamp. This is the 3-way bulb. It's going to default on 100 watts. So those are the rated watts. Let's find out what the running watts are. Okay, it's 100. Now the button you want to be concerned with here is the watt VA button. The VA number is equal to or greater than the running watts. These are the watts right now. Press it, it's the same, equal. And the reason it's equal is because it's a resistive load. Anything that produces just heat will have the same VA number as the watts, like a toaster or an iron. Okay, so let's go ahead and log this information on the worksheet. Okay, so if you're working with me on this interactive part, just go ahead and get a worksheet out and write in lamp. And then for maximum rated watts, write 100. That's what was on the bulb. And then the estimated maximum running watts, 100. Okay, now I'm going to take a look at my toaster. Okay, here's my toaster. Let's check out the maximum rated running watts. 920. See right here. Now let's find out what the running watts are, the actual running watts. Let's turn it on. $889 was the highest number I found, and you want the highest when you're checking running watts. 884, 85. Now this is also a resistive load, so the VA number should be the same as watts. Let's check it out. There it is, same right there, VA watts. Okay, so let's go ahead and record this information on the worksheet. I'm going with 889. Okay, just write down toaster, and then maximum rated watts, 920, and then estimated maximum running watts, 889. All right, let's go check out my microwave oven. You'll notice there are 2 ratings, input, output. Now the one I'm interested in is the input. It's the larger of the 2. That's what my microwave uses. So that is the rated, says right there, rated input watts. Now the output 950 is referring to the cooking watts. Now my mac and cheese here says 4 minutes, then 2 minutes, but that's assuming you have a microwave oven that's 1100 watts. Well, mine is 950, so that's why I have to cook mine longer. In fact, for Marie Callender chicken pot pie, number 2, here it says, do not cook in microwave ovens less than 1100 watts, as pie may not cook thoroughly. I just want to share that with you in case you didn't know that. All right, as far as running watts are concerned, the actual running watts, I'm not going to check it because I don't want to have to unplug everything up here on top and pull everything out. And I already have before, so I know it's the same. So let's go ahead and record the labeled watts. Now for the microwave, just write down microwave. And for maximum rated running watts, 1530. And that's it. I didn't do a maximum running watts on this. All right, now let's take a look at my electric blanket. The maximum rated watts, 180. Now it's a king size blanket, and I have both sides turned on high. So let's find out what the running watts are here. Just a few minutes ago, I saw it at 110. So I'm going to write 110. It's not showing on the video, but I had already plugged this in and I saw that. So I'm going to use 110. Anyway, so let's see what the VA does. See that? Same. It's because all it does is heat. Now for the electric blanket, just write electric blanket maximum rated running watts 180, and then estimated maximum running watts 110. All right, now for my computer. Now I don't want to have to pull out my computer or my printer, my speakers, my monitor, and locate the rated watts on all of those. So I run everything on a power strip, and then I don't have it plugged in here because it's too cramped for the video. So I have it the power strip connected to a power cable and into my kilowatt meter. Now I've been watching this for about 5 minutes, and I've noticed it's been running between 140 and 160 watts. If I push the watt VA button, the VA definitely is going to be higher. It's not going to be equal. It's equal to or greater than. In this case, it will be greater. And that's the number I'm going to want to use. So, but the thing is, I'd have to sit here and watch it for an hour, you know, and have someone on the computer trying to cause the greatest load. I need to find out the maximum running watts because I'm not using the rated watts. So there is a better way to find out. In this particular situation, I like to use a clamp meter because it will record the peak amps, and I can just multiply the amps with the volts and get the VA number. But more importantly, what I like about the clamp meter is it will, this one anyway, will remember and record the peak amps. So, and whereas a kilowatt meter, you just have to stare at it and then hope you see it. This will remember it. Now, most clamp meters will actually shut off after 15 minutes automatically. And so I had to find one that that I can keep running because I want to run for hours. I checked my surge watts on my appliances with motors with this, and I like to run it for a long period of time. So what you do for this one anyway, you just hold the hold button down and turn it on. Now it's going to stay on until the batteries run out, so I can run this for hours. And I wanted one with a max button because that would mean it would read the peak amps. Now, if I try to run this clamp meter on a power cord, it won't work because the power cord has a hot wire and a neutral wire, and it cancels out. So this won't read anything. What it needs to do, you need to run it on either one of the wires in a power cord. But I'm obviously not going to tear my power cord apart, so that's when a line splitter comes into play. It basically takes the power cord and splits the line up right here, and then back in. So that way I can record with my clamp meter on either wire. It doesn't matter which one. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to start the computer up, and right now it's off. I want to get the amps for the startup, and whatever those are, if those happen to be the highest amps throughout the next hour or two while I'm running this, that's what I'm going to use for actual running watts. Okay, so I'll start it up right now. And I'm going to run it for an hour or two. Ideally, what you should do is run this setup for as long as you use your computer. If it's on all day, leave it on all day. Let it record the peak amps for this, and use it the way you normally do. Okay, so right now we're running 145, 155, 163 watts, but the amps 1.82, and that's because of the startup. So I'm going to let this run now for an hour or two, and then come back and see what we have on the clamp meter. All right, it's been an hour and 20 minutes, and let me see here. The VA is 147 here, watts 139, but the clamp meter 1.82 amps. So I'm just go to my calculator. 1.82 times 120. So I'm going to use 218.4 VA as my running watts. All right, for the computer, just write down computer. And I never did check for the rated running watts. For the estimated maximum running watts, I'm using a VA number of 218.4. And I like the number. It's going to be equal to or greater than the actual running watts, and in this case it will be greater. So I'm comfortable using that. And also remember, this is just an estimate. Everything is just an estimate. So let's take a look at my 65-inch Samsung TV. So this is my 65-inch Samsung TV, and I already know what the watts are, but I don't want to have to pull the TV out to show on the camera here, but it's 255 rated watts. So let's go ahead and find out what the running watts are. All right, it looks like we're I don't know, running between 150 and 185 watts. Just depends on what the demand of that monitor is. VA 173. Okay, let's record this information on the worksheet. So just write down Samsung 65-inch TV. And then for the maximum rated running watts, 255. And then for the estimated maximum running watts, 226. Now, I saw that for just a split second on the kilowatt meter. Okay, so now let's take a look at my coffee maker. Now I'm going to find out the maximum rated watts on my coffee maker. Now I'm not interested in the running watts because it's on a cycle, start to finish. So for now, I just want to find out the rated watts. Okay, I'm going to hold this. It's kind of hard to see. It's in the plastic here. You can see down on the bottom right there, 1,025 watts. So I'm going to record that in the worksheet. For the coffee maker, just write down coffee maker. And then for the maximum rated running watts, 1025. The last appliance I want to take a look at is our new refrigerator. We've only had this for a couple of weeks. I haven't tested anything on it yet. And I want to test the surge watts and running watts and watt hours per hour on average all in the second video. So for now, let's go ahead and get the rated watts or VA number on this. Okay, you can see here 115 volts just means that's it needs at least 115. So it's using 120 times 3 amps would be 360 VA, and the defrosting input is 355. So we're just going to use the VA number. All right, so just go ahead and write down refrigerator and underline VA when watts are not listed, because they weren't listed, so I'm using a VA number instead. I took the 3 amps times 120 volts, came up with 360 VA, and I will be doing the running watts and surge watts and watt hours per hour on average in the second video. The purpose of this video was to show you how to figure out what you can run on your portable power station within the continuous rated running watts. So now I want to do a demonstration using the information I gathered from my lamp, my TV, and my computer to see if I can run them at the same time on my 600 watt EcoFlow River. Now, so I'm going to look at my worksheets, and I see that the lamp was 100 watts. That's pretty straightforward. The Samsung TV, 255 rated watts, and that's going to be an overestimation just a little bit. And then my computer, which was based on a VA of 218, which is going to be more than the actual running watts. Plus, this was based on the startup watts, which was the highest. And I'm using this number as running watts. So I'm overestimating probably about 100, maybe 150 watts. The total on this is 573, and I've got 600 watts to work with. So let's see if this works. There we go. We're running my lamp, TV, and computer at the same time on my little EcoFlow River. Be sure to keep the worksheets for video 2. We will be adding more information to those. And I will also be providing more documents for you in video 2 and 3. And you might want to keep all of that in one binder or folder, and then ultimately you can put this alongside your portable power station so that if the power goes out, you have the information right at hand. So thanks for watching the video. Congratulations for making it through video 1. You could please share the video. There are a lot of people out there that need this information, but I'm not sure how easy it will be for them to find this series. So have a great day, and I'll see you in video 2.